This message is for President Donald Trump. As a former illegal immigrant and now a citizen, I feel a responsibility of sharing with you how I see things from the time I came to the United States to now. We came to this country looking to live a better life and not to experience the same thing that we experience in our own countries. Please listen to what I have to say. Well, first of all, yes, my family came in the 80s, and I came with one of my sisters. And back then, it was not really a need. It was just like a challenge. But mainly because a lot of our countries and many people that, like me, they came to this country, our countries failed us in many ways. We were fed up with the corruption, we were fed up with the crime, with the drug cartel, and so many problems that the citizens of these countries have come across every single day. So like in Central America and Mexico, you see the corruption in the government, and you see the voting system be broken, and the people who speak out for the country or for defending the country, they get put in jail or they even kill them. So we were escaping all that. More than just wanting a better life and a better job and a better career or a better business, we came because we were escaping all those things from our countries. And that is why we look up to the United States, because basically we believe when we came that it was a country, the United States was a country of freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of finances, freedom of gangs and crime. We look up to the United States as a country where the system works, the government protects you, the government takes care of its citizens, the police protects its citizens. The law really works here. We believe in the law, we believe on the justice system. You know, we thought that, you know, somebody committed a crime, it gets put in jail. We believe this country will give you opportunities to develop an idea or develop a device, an invention, and you will have all these resources to develop those ideas or those inventions. We look up to what all these inventors in America did, you know, the White brothers, the Ford, Edison, Tesla, Goodyear, Jobs, Elon Musk, and my favorite, Dr. Miller, inventor of the ECIO. What they have in common? Do you think one day they wake up and say, oh, I'm white, I'm going to invent something? No, they didn't. They just had the blessing of being a white male who had the ideas to bring innovation to the world, not only this country. So we look up to that. When we were in our country, we always thought made in America as a quality, as a well done, as a something that will function and will help the world. It wasn't that we look up to that and say, oh, this is cheap or this is easy to obtain. No, we know it was hard to obtain, yet it was well done, and it was a sign of the symbol of quality, the symbol of prosperity, you know, made in America. That's what we look at. That's why we came here. When I was raised, I was growing up, I saw this jealousy, yet envy, yet want to be like United States, you know. So many of my family members basically come here to shop good quality items to take it back home. And it's important to them because it's a symbol, United States is a symbol of well done things. So that's what we look at to. That's what we came for. To obtain that and to imitate that and to look at the white men who invent things. We look at the white race as somebody who care. Especially me being in Texas. The majority of my clients and friends I had when I arrived to the United States were families united and go to church on Sunday And I got a lot of invitations to many churches. I was just amazed how many churches and how many religions were here, Christian people. And they were all together going to Sunday, had great morals. You didn't have any worries about leaving your door unlocked on your car or leaving something, your bicycle in the front yard. We didn't care, we didn't care about any of that. We didn't have to worry about leaving the garage door open and not worry about crime or somebody stealing from us. We were really, it was a cultural shock when we came. One of the things that really impressed me a lot too is the amount of Black people just walking around, everybody mind their own business, doing whatever they want, some are more successful than others, and that was fine. Nobody messed with anybody. I never see a Black person in my life when I was in my country. And here I am, nothing like the movie said, slaves and discriminating. None of that stuff was happening. I arrived here and I saw with my own eyes how everybody interact with everybody, the cultural, the multicultural picture I never thought, You have people in the neighborhood who were Black, people in the neighborhood who were white, Hispanics. But yeah, I was really impressed for many of those things that culture will bring. I mean, we thought that we were family oriented. No, I saw what my family oriented was here. People gathered together on Sunday, go to church. And the families with one father, one mother, and the children, and educate them and raise them to be good Christians, be missionaries or be volunteers, which I never experienced. Being values and morals were very important. No lying, no stealing, no cheating. I grew up with all that. With people cheats and lies and corruption. And they trashed the city. There was no system and education for that. In the countries where my families and friends come from, that doesn't work. We come with a lot of problems. It's true. And we bring those problems with us. Among us, there are people who cheat. There are people who are corrupt. There are people who don't know any better. And when we come here, we were taught differently. And we thought the police will defend us, the police will make us behave better, and we look up to that, to have a better life, a quality life. One of my main things that I have experienced with my children is the day I walk in a stadium, and there was a full stadium full of inventors, full of the children designing and creating robotics and creating designs in many ways. And I was just impressed how much of the encouragement for the children to develop, to create, to invent. That was my kids. I would never experience, I would never be, with all the money in the world, if I ever had that in my own country, I would never be able to give them any of that education. I would never give them the opportunity to experience such support and encouragement and level of education and experience like they did here in a public school. They were encouraged to do sports, they were encouraged to create, they were encouraged to compete. My kids were tested and they were always in a high level education. So that was just admirable. I can thank enough President Reagan for the amnesty that he gave us. Because then with the amnesty, we were proving that we were hard workers. And that's why we came here. One of the most significant things about us is that we were illegal immigrants yet. We were hard workers. We were hard workers, and most of us came to contribute to this country. What is wrong right now with this system is that we don't have an immigration reform, and we don't have a good immigration system. It takes too long. For my daughter-in-law, it took her 2 years of waiting when she applied for my son to bring her over. It took her 2 years of waiting. My friend, I invite her to come and visit me. She has business, she has bank account, she has a car, and she has a house in Mexico. And they deny her the visa. I invite one of my missionaries friends in El Salvador. She had her visa, she has come 4 times. She came to visit me for 2 months, and they took away her visa because she forgot things that I have not told her. She didn't know how to answer. She's trying to come and visit me legally, properly, with her visa, and they took away her visa because it's so corrupted. How easy, how simple it is. Pick up the phone, get somebody to guarantee you, somebody citizen to sign in and protect the visit that you will sponsor and you will protect it. It would be very simple, a 5-minute call to verify, you know, in the times of social media, in the times of technology, it's so easy to do background. I walk in the airport and the camera recognizes my face. It is so simple. Why they don't make it the immigration more simple? It's so difficult. They have a 2-year waiting in any country to apply. Yet they come in the border. Couple of my family and friends have come to the border. The coyotes are charging them $10,000 to cross the border. Okay, $10,000. They could just go to get an attorney, apply for the work visa, and come with less than that. Yet they're paying the coyotes. I know from my own experience because I have been receiving calls for help, and I get after them because I think it's wrong for them to pay a coyote for $10,000. It's wrong to cross illegally. Why? You're gonna have a hard life. You're gonna be hiding from the law. You're gonna be illegal, and you can go home for many years. When it's so simple, give them an easy way to come as a worker for 6 months, a most simple way to come, work 6 months, and then go home. These people are more beneficial in their own country, to help their country, to benefit their own country, and to go back to their children. You know, when the children get separated from their parents, I'm telling you when they decide to leave their own country. It's not at the border, it's not President Trump, it's at their own country when they decide to separate families. They made a decision to leave their own country to come here. When I came to the United States, I was told, there's some free stuff over here, there's some free stuff over there. I was just in a culture of people who believe the government has to pay for you, and you should take advantage of that. I was drawn into the Democrats believe that the rich are evil and the poor are Democrats, and we had to take a little bit of what they made. I was drawn into that. And one day I decided, I'm gonna go to college. And when I went to college here in San Antonio, I applied and did my test and applied for every scholarship or loan, scholarship that I could apply. And because I was a single mom, they gave me entry without you had to pay. And for me, it was very simple. I was drawn into that culture of being free. And then I saw my peers, a group of classmates, many of them who had different backgrounds from other countries. And we were discussing things in our class, in a government class, and one of them stood up and said, we're talking about finances and many things, and I don't know why this stood up to me when one of the ladies, female, white, late 30s, single, and said, my parents don't have a farm, I don't have a farm, I'm not Hispanic, white, or I'm not Hispanic, black, or Indian, Asian, I don't have children, I don't have disability, I'm a white female in my late 20s, and I cannot apply for one single scholarship. At the beginning, I felt, wow, how privileged I am. And then I get conscious. I said, well, that's not fair, right? Here I am in her country, taking all the benefits. And she is an American citizen, white female, who was very smart, was a very smart lady, who had to pay her full ticket to go to college. I just felt terrible. Next time I did it was just to get my student loans to pay for to finish college. But not only that, I would just always remember her as an inspiration of working hard in school to become somebody. That was the example that I got from her. But I feel that that was not fair. The system was fair, and the system, her own country, was failing her for not protecting her rights of being a citizen and becoming somebody without to work so hard. There should be some scholarship for a white female, especially being so poor. I remember I got to live in a house. She was living in a trailer park. She should have more rights than I did, you know. And it is very sad that the system is so broken like that. Yes, I did pay my student loans after, and I'm proud of saying that, but I think this poor lady should, like many others who would like to go to school and have these conditions of their life, they should have opportunity as well, equally. Are we talking about equality? Is that equality to you? Is that woman part of the equality? What is the privilege? Just because she was smart and she was white, is that a privilege? That shouldn't be a privilege. That should be standard. I have been a missionary over 8 years, and I traveled to El Salvador, also traveled to Guatemala and Mexico, and I see how much China is pouring into these countries, stealing the jobs of the citizens. That's the reason why people should think about twice before supporting China, because they take away the jobs from these countries, and those are the people that are coming here because they're losing their jobs in their own country. I personally have a family, the family members that live there, they do textile, and they tell me, I make one pair of pants for $6, China sells for $4. There's no way I can compete with them. I had to go up in the mountains or very isolated areas to sell, so be able to make it, because I cannot be in the city competing with China. And these are the people that are asking for me to help them to come to this country to work. That is what's wrong. All of the China is doing is stealing jobs from these countries, and that's why many of them come to here. That's what this is wrong with these countries, and there should be a penalty. It should be a penalty for those. So United States can help with that, to put in tariff to these countries if they deal with China, because they have more ability to empower these tariffs to them. So we don't have this problem. All these people that are coming in to United States are having to deal with that, especially when it comes to textile and other things. Like my brother, he developed a system, automatic system, because we use a lot of cisterns in Mexico City. We do cistern, and he developed a system to pump the water, and somebody stole it from him. He made it so cheap and so efficient. It took him so many years to develop this pump, and then he went to sell it. When he poured it out there, they were on consignments. He could not sell it. It was under consignment. And then by the time they paid him, oh, we cannot pay you. He didn't make any money because the market is so corrupted, and you had to pay bravery to get into the market. Yet somebody stole his idea and had it made in China. And that's what happened, because a country who doesn't have patents, and a country who doesn't protect its citizens with the patents, that's what they get to do. They go to China, have them made, cheaper, and they sell it, and the market is like that. The countries, the governments are receiving all these incentives from the governments of China to bring their products. And that leaves the small man poor without a business, where the rich and the government officials are making tons of money. And that is everywhere. I have lived it, I have experienced it. I go over there and I see how many products from China are being sold and taking away their citizens' jobs. I have a wonderful, wonderful professor, Democrat. I believe she was one of my best educators, who really gave me both of the information about being Democrat, about Republicans, about Democrats. And then I have friends, close friends that were conservative. So I balance my choices because of those two people. Give me the strong values, give me the strong beliefs. I made my choice. Equally education of both parties. I made my choice on that. Nobody attacking anybody. There was none of that stuff. They just put on the table what the beliefs were, what are the strengths were, what are the things that they believe on. And that was wonderful. I am so privileged to have had that, because then I made my own choice. Nobody influenced me. I value where, I balance where my values were. And that was very important. That was very important for me to be basically raised in the United States. Raised again, born again in the United States. Because I didn't have that. Those values were not implemented when I was in my country. I didn't know any of this. Of course, I was a teenager when I was in my country. So I came here as a teenager and I developed a conscience little by little. Thanks to President Reagan, we were granted amnesty in 1986. That really helped us a lot because we were able to prove how hard workers we were and how much we contribute to this country. It wasn't easy because we had to prove ourselves that we didn't have any criminal records, that we didn't have any financials outstanding to any private entity, that we were good citizens, good workers. And thanks to President Reagan, we were able to prove that. So after I obtained my residency, obviously I was able to go ahead and get my driver's license. And that was a big achievement for me. I really love that. I love to be able to be legal and to prove that I can work, because that's all I wanted, is to work and contribute to this country and to get a better life. To pay my taxes, to pay for my future, to build a future here. And especially because I have three children, that I want to show them how important it was to have a good job, to have a good education, and to have good life in this country. Yet one day, after I applied for my driver's license, they were asking me if I wanted to be registered for voting. And I said, no, I am not a citizen. So I left. And then in the mail, I got 2 times a card to register for vote. And I got thinking, your vote counts in this country. Maybe I'll register. Let's see what happens. And I did. For my surprise, I got my voting card in the mail. And I said, oh my gosh, I was just joking. I didn't really think it would come through. I just didn't think I was gonna be receiving a voting card. I was taking my English classes, and I shared this with my instructor, and I said, I have a voting card. And then she got confused. Well, this is only for citizens. I said, well, I got one. And next time, I received 2 times. I received a letter that I had to go to jury duty. So I took my card. I said, I'm sorry, I'm not a citizen. Here's your card. And they look at me and they receive it and they just didn't say anything. So how easy it was for me to get a voting card. Just by registering. Nobody checked on me. Nobody do anything. The voting system is wrong. is bad. Nobody told me this. I'm telling you, I lived that by myself. Okay? If I go to El Salvador, every time I do a transaction, they ask me for the DUI, identification, unique identification from the country. Otherwise, I can do a lot of transactions. Here, we can do any transactions without being verified. Isn't that ridiculous? This is a more laid-back immigration system, voting system than any other country. That is a lot of work that needs to be done if we want to save this country, because it's starting to look like a third world country. It's starting to look like a Central America. Look at the trash in the streets. Look at the criminals. Look at the corruption. That's what I escaped from. I wanted to live that there. I didn't want to come to the same. I didn't want my children and my grandchildren to live with the same. The voting system, the immigration system is unbelievable. It's disgusting. There's this outrageous. I don't even want what word to put it. I'm trying to move away from that. And here I am. Other countries are getting better than us, taking advantage of the technology, of the experience, and the resources, and other countries are doing much better now than America. The broken system, the corruption, and the trash, and the criminality that is out there, that we had to stop this. This is it. If this year things don't change, I don't know. A lot of people are already moving out to their countries. A lot of people are just living expatriates, living in other countries. Under President Reagan, we got the last amnesty for this country for illegal immigration. That was back in 1986. We haven't had any immigration reform since then. Okay, you know how many illegal immigrants are nowadays? President Trump gave us DACA, and the government, the Democrats rejected. President Trump gave us DACA, was gonna give us DACA, and the Democrats have denied that. Just because they didn't wanna put a wall, which is very well needed. I'm an immigrant. I was illegal immigrant. My family and my friends crossed the border. Some of my family and some of my friends crossed the border illegally. I'm telling you, I know it's needed. I do not want any of my family and friends to put in that risk again. I know so many of them have lost their lives, have been raped, have been losing their limbs. Okay, so we need a reform. And it was the Democrats who denied DACA to President Trump. We need a new reform. We need a new immigration reform. And it has to be immigration reform that it works, where you can track and investigate these immigrants in their own country. Isn't that hard? I promise you, it's not hard. They have to have a mass deportation for those who don't contribute to this country, because this is the greatest country in the world. It has been for many years, and to see it going down the hill, it is upsetting, it is sad, it's depressing. Might as well just go to Mars, like Mel says, right?